Hey, what's up, everybody? I know it's late at night. That's okay. But I wanted to do this before bed because I figured this was a great writing exercise. I haven't written in a while and I wanted to do this. And I always been wanting to do this to do a shadow work prompt at night. So I'm actually getting into that. I'm really excited to do that. I have a couple of the questions. Here's a couple that I'm gonna work on. I'm gonna show you right here, but I'm also gonna read them off too. The first one that I'm going to be working on is, what do you want people to feel around you? So I really like that one. And I kind of want to expand on that one. I'm going to talk about it, but I'm going to write it down a little bit. What is the worst feeling? Which I feel like I have an idea of that too. So I want to write and kind of get into that. Have you ever treated a person in a way you regret? Now, this is a really interesting one too. So, I mean, just kind of like get to meditate on that too. Take some time and figure that out as well. What is your love language and destructive acts? That one is really interesting, and I can't wait to unpack that one. And what would you tell your younger self? I feel like I want to wrap up with that one because I don't know. I want to say a lot to her, but I want to really think about what I would say to her. So I think that's a really cool one. So I'm gonna get started. Hopefully, you guys have something to write with. Obviously, I mean, you can answer it in your head, or if you want to think about what necessarily comes to mind, let me know. It is really chilly down here. I just realized it is so cold. And I spy with my little eye a robe that looks absolutely amazing. I am going to snatch it. 1 second. This is great. This is perfect. Oh, oh, nothing like shadow work at night with. Woo. Hey, this cozy. Hey, I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead. I'll paint the town red. No, I'm just kidding. I am in the wonderful coziness of my humble abode. This is where I am. I like this a lot. It is so fluffy. Fluffy robes and shadow work. There's nothing quite like it. I do caution. I don't know where my battery is at. It was at like about 40 or something. So I said, I'm just going to do this until the wheels fall off. So why not? We're just going to have some fun with it. But I like this. Might as well be doing shadow work. Let the hair down. Have fun with it. It actually feels a lot better. Anyway, so we just do that. Woohoo! Have fun. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, cozy. Because it is really cold down here. Okay. Sweet. This is great. And I can adjust this a little bit more. Oh my gosh. My dad's gonna get a kick out of this one too. So I just borrowed it. Nothing's wrong with borrowing. I'll give it back. Maybe. Some shadow work needs to be done. It's kind of evil. So the first one, like I said, was crack myself. I can't even talk. I crack myself up sometimes, really. I really do. Yeah, thank you. It's fun. I plan on doing more lives here. It's very fun. It has a lot of potential. Let's just say that. You will see more lives of me cutting a rug down here because it has that potential to have fun and just be really silly. So I'm really excited about that. There we go. I like that they're longer than my arms. I love that. It's always fun, right? Yay! So get in your fluffiest things and write about the not so fluffy things of our hearts and our insides. But that's what shadow work does. It's so shadow work is so interesting, but I think it's so important, you know. You just have to sometimes you have to reflect on that. Ugh, excuse me. I had like the most sleep inducing meal earlier, and I'm surprised. I was so scared. I was gonna like I'm gonna be real honest with you. I have the giggles. I just had really good food, and for some reason, it feels like, in some way, like I'm intoxicated in a goofy way. Like, not fully, like, not really, but like just because I just feel very happy and content. So, um, yes. um, yes. Oh, sorry. No, I was surprised. I was scared. That just forgot that quickly. I was scared if I set the live, I was gonna get tired and I was gonna fall asleep during the live. I would be so embarrassed. Obviously, like I wouldn't share it, duh. But just the thought that I did it would terrify me, which is crazy. Like I used to fall asleep all the time. Now I really don't do that unless like I just need to get rest, which is gross for sure. So that's all besides the point. That's all besides the point. I am excited to finally do a shadow work thing at night because I've been wanting to do that. Live snooze. Live stream. That's funny. I honestly, people do it though. I just don't know if I'm the type. I'm not the type to do it. I don't know. I'd rather just wear the fluffy things and just be on the live talking with people because, yeah, it just makes more sense to me to do that. But I like this. It's so freaking cozy. I love this. I feel like if you're in a very comfortable outfit, area, or all of the above, it's very easy to be able to think about these hard questions or questions that could be very difficult to answer. So, for the first question, I can answer that openly and be like, what do you want people to feel around you? Well, I made this channel for that same reason. Like, when I'm around people, I want them to be able to feel, I want my presence to feel like a warm hug, you know? Like, I want to be able to just be like welcoming. I want to be loving. And I want people to walk away from conversations or just being around me feeling energized instead of drained. Right? Right. It's giving cozy. It's giving Beyonce cozy. I'm cozy. I'm cozy. I'm so cozy. Sorry, I'm being really goofy. Well, that's what cozy, fluffy things do, you know? But I'm doing shadow work and cozy robes. It's gonna be really fun. But this is great. I like it. It's very nice. But yeah, I'm having a fun time. And answering the first question, what do you want people to feel around you? Which I want people to feel like themselves. I want them to be able to feel like they can be who they are and don't feel judgment. They don't feel judged. I really think that's really important to me. I don't want people to just feel like shunned. I feel like a lot of the world can be really cold as it is. And I don't think us being people in the world, it doesn't mean that we have to be just as cold or we don't have to be as harsh as some things can be. So I want people to feel refreshed. I want them to feel loved. I want them to feel Um, Comfortable. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. It's comfortable. I want them to feel comfortable. Like this cozy robe. I want them to feel cozy. That's my answer. I'm sticking to it. Mm. What is the worst feeling? Um, the worst feeling? Mm, I guess feeling shut out, feeling neglected, and I mean, of course, in that way, there's various ways where it caused some type of hurt or anything, you know. Um, I am a, I would say that would be one for sure. Yeah, yeah. Mm. It's already been 11 minutes. Cool. Um, I guess that would be the worst feeling. Feeling trapped, you know. I think trapped is worse because I mean, there's negligence, there's being neglected, there's being shut off. But if you're trapped and you feel those exact same feelings, I think that's a really hard thing to face, you know. So I'm gonna keep writing with that. I think that's a good one. Um, let's see. So I'm gonna say trapped for this one. Do. And I'm also glad I finally did this because I've been wanting to do this video specifically, as well as the one I talked about in my next video that is coming out tomorrow. I was like, I don't know what day it is. It comes out tomorrow, and I'm gonna be. Oh, I said I was gonna put that in the description. I didn't do that. I can update it. I can update it though. But it basically, just to show a picture of it, I have a graph that is my personal graph, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 categories, and with each category, you base it out of a certain percentage that you're able to do, or where you currently stand in that point, which I found to be really helpful. So in the video that comes out tomorrow, I'll be linking a video that I found to be really helpful to kind of gauge how I could become better than I am right now currently. So this is an example of it. If I can like lift it up. Okay, so can you see that? So right here is clarity. So this is where my lowest one is for clarity. There's energy, and they're based out of course, out of 100%. So for energy, whatever percentage you feel in your energy or how you feel in your health right now, out of 25%. So like 0% being like you feel like absolutely low, you feel like a couch potato, you don't do anything. You wake up and you stay in bed all day. To 25%, like you have a great routine or regimen going on, and you're on top of it. You go to the gym all the time, you wear a Gymshark, etc. You get the point, right? Clarity being however you feel, to 15%, like 0 being you have no plan or absolutely no direction of life, and 15 being like you have a clear, direct plan, 5-year, 10-year plan in your life. So I have this is my graph and chart. Then you have self-discipline right here. And this is based out of 35%. So how disciplined are you, kind of self-explanatory. And then lastly, subconscious. So do you wake up in the morning? Do you meditate? Do you have these this time to yourself, this mindfulness. How do you go with that? So I think this is really helpful. I'm going to pin this in the video tomorrow. So I kind of want to do more series like this that kind of talk about various things like that we can kind of figure out and evaluate with ourselves, because we all have the same amount of time. We all have 24 hours in a day. And if we are able to really hone in and tune in with ourselves, I truly believe we're able to make more of the day that we have by figuring out exactly what we need to do to proceed in those steps. So for me, out of this chart, I know that clarity is my lowest point. And I know the tip for that was to have the hiccups. Excuse me. And what you want to do is, for the lowest one, you want to take on that one specifically. So for me, for example, is clarity. I'm going to be doing exercises to gain more clarity within the next 30 days. So that's what I'm going to be doing, which is going to be, I'm really excited about that. That's also shadow work. I think this is one of the exercises that can contribute to it, just because I am honing in on a lot of things that I may have neglected or I'm not really paying attention to, that could be really helpful in my growth as well. So I'm kind of excited about it. It's crazy that, you know, to finally do this and have this opportunity and just be like enjoying it. So it's fun. So let me see. This next question. Have you ever treated a person in a way you regret? I try to be very mindful of that. I don't really treat people in a way where it's just like absolutely outlandish or like extremely dismissive. So nothing immediately comes to mind where it was just like I did something, because I don't know, I really overthink stuff like that. So I try to be very vigilant when it comes to treating people that way, so I don't, I don't have regret, because that's a big one. I could say that's one of my biggest fears, is regret. So it's kind of tricky. But I will say, anytime I see someone in need and like I'm not able to help them in that moment, or something, like I don't have say like I don't have cash on me or something, or I don't have food, like I used to have little care packages in my trunk, and if I saw where they were, I would put it like in like my front seat or something like that, so I could just hand it off to them. So I can give them like a little drawstring bag, couple pairs of socks, some food, and things like that. But I don't know. I haven't. No, nothing's coming to mind, and I'm very thankful for it. So let me be very clear with that. Where it's like I've treated someone in a way that I regret, because I try to be really clear about my emotion. Whoa, ooh, one just came up. Okay, yeah, one just came up. Um, yeah, I would say one I do regret is it's with my mom. There's so many times, but I mean, me and my mom, we were always close in ways like that. But there's a lot of moments sometimes I look back that kind of like they kind of haunt me, where it's like I know to give her more hugs. I know that's for sure. Like, I mean, I gave her lots of hugs, but like sometimes, like especially in my teenage years, like that irritates me a lot. Like sometimes I want to take like teenage me and shake me sometimes and be like, I know you're being a teenager and world is all weird and crazy right now, but hug your mom a lot more because, you know, you love her. Duh. So I wouldn't say like it wasn't anything like a neglect or anything like that. But if I do think of anything, I wish I hugged her a lot more because, yeah, hugs are really amazing because, you know, of course, you know, there's ways to show affection, but it's something about that when it comes to loved ones and things like that. Sometimes hugs are just, they're just really nice. So I guess that is certainly one. Like, I didn't treat her bad. And if anything, I know she loves me. She knows I loved her. So it wasn't that. But I can say with that, that is a thing I do feel like some form of regret. So I would definitely say that counts. Um, oh, that kind of lines up. What is your love language and destructive act? It's a really good one. I have the hiccups again. Excuse me. Don't judge my hiccups, please. um, love language. I kind of have a pet peeve with them, if I'm being really honest. Um, I believe everyone is worthy of every form of a love language. Even if we have one that stands out that we do the most, I'm still very adamant about us being multifaceted beings and that it can change, you know? Because to that point, like teenage me, say, like, I'm not about physical touch because that was a thing, like, you know, to hug my mom, you know, stuff like that. Like, oh, I don't want you to hug me. This is not cool. Like, ugh, gross, mom, you're loving me. Like, you know, all of that. But at the same time, I've realized as I gotten older, I definitely appreciate that. I ask for more hugs. I love hugs because of the fact that, you know, the the sentiment of it, you know. And I think that is a really important thing to know because I feel like if you put yourself in a box when it comes to love languages, you kind of set yourself up to be loved only to the extent of which you're expecting it. So I don't know. When it comes to a favorite one, acts of service is always big to me. But acts of service, I would truly say, is a combination of all of them. Because if you know that your actions is the way that you would be able to express love to them, then it would be like, well, I know they love to be or they appreciate receiving love with physical touch. So I'm going to show by my actions by including more physical touch. Or if I know that they like gifts, my action is to get my partner a gift so I can be able to do that. So it's like acts of service kind of is like the combination of all of them, even like in my personal opinion. So I think that's why I resonate with that one a lot. But I don't like just honing in and saying like this is my love language because I believe we're worthy of all of them. So it's very interesting. And that's just half of the question. That's just half of it. Um, what is your destructive act? One of them is certainly shutting down and like doing everything on my own. I know that for sure. Like I'm the one that I will like zero in. I will like isolate myself and I will literally just try to figure out everything on my own because that's something that I've done for a while. So I don't resonate with it being destructive. I resonate it being familiar and comforting in a very unhealthy way. So I know that this is something that has allowed me to acknowledge it, but also change it over time. which is really good. I'm very thankful for that. But mm, yeah, there's a couple of things because it's just like there was another video that I was watching recently where it's like it's broken down into like three things where it's like you can either suppress it, you could either project it, or you can escape from it, which is a really great point, you know? So it's like you either suppress, project, or escape. Um, I don't necessarily suppress. I try to avoid that a lot, honestly. I avoid that a lot. I'm not really about projecting because I think a lot about the other person. Like, I've always, ever since I was a kid, I always was told and taught to be compassionate or considerate of others. So when it comes to projecting, I'm always really mindful about what I say and how it comes off so I don't project onto somebody. Not saying that I'm perfect and that I never have, but I'm usually very mindful if I am in a state which I could project onto somebody. So, escaping. Yeah, I think that's one that is like just kind of notorious. It's kind of like almost like a generational one too, but that's like a whole nother conversation for another day. But it's very interesting. I've definitely tried to run away from a lot of things, but having this to be aware of it, to really sit down and figure out what was it I was running from? Why was I running away from it? And then how could I best address it in a light that could better serve me? So I'm actually really content with that one. I want to look up another one just because it's funny. I was so sleepy when I first started this live, but now I'm a little bit more alert. I was so scared I was gonna fall asleep on this live. What if I did that? Like a little snooze live? It was a live snooze. That's what Carolyn said. It'd be so funny. Let me see. So, um, uh, let me see. Shadow work. I might go live tomorrow. Okay, I think I found. If you hear that, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, I found some more. I don't know why it's been shifting me over to that. That's so weird. Anyway. Okay. Oh, throat chakra. Oh, that's cool. They're breaking down by the chakras. I guess we could start with the root. Let me do a couple. Let's see. Oh, that's a shadow one. Ooh. Okay. Root chakra. It kind of scared me. It's red. We're in the zone. So we're here. We're in the zone. We are in the proper energy. Whoa. I almost knocked down everything. You didn't see that. I caught it. You're not gonna see me be clumsy. You're not gonna catch me being clumsy on camera. Let me not say that. There is so many opportunities for you to, but not today. Not tonight. No. Okay. Okay. So, okay, there you go. Had to get comfortable. So there's one where it says, for root chakra, shadow work prompts, how do you unintentionally allow others to invade your personal boundaries? Oh, that's one. um mm, well, can I call it? Yes, that's a heavy one. That's a heavy one. That's a heavy one. I think, especially if you're coming from a loving space, I feel like you can unintentionally set yourself up to a lot of situations that allow your boundaries to be crossed. So unintentionally by, I guess, sometimes confusing trust with being naive. That can happen. I've been there. Um, just over trusting, oversharing. That can be one. Depending on what you're sharing, like I came into this live knowing that there were certain topics and obviously certain ones and certain questions I can read and certain ones I will not. I know what to share, but there are certain parts to be very careful of and be very mindful of because there are boundaries. You have to have boundaries that you place with that. Oh, they got more of the chakras. This is so interesting. I like that they broke down the questions by the chakra. Because I mean, just I think it's really cool to start with the root, considering that's the base. That's the one starting at the lowest point, and it's so important because you build up off of that. You build up, So okay. We're gonna get past that question. Question 2. Are you ready? Please make sure you're sitting down because this. I'm a little nervous. I see the T word. What traumas have you inherited from your ancestors? Bruh. Bruh. What traumas have you inherited? Heavy. Heavy. Yo, that's heavy. Um, First of all, do you even know all of your ancestors? I feel like that's trauma in itself. Are you even connected? Do you even know who they are? Do you know who they is? Do you know them? Do you know? And that's even worse. You can have this is not funny. I'm so sorry. This is not funny. You could literally you could literally have a trauma and think it was something that you did and it could be inherited. I'm asleep. I can't. This is only question 2, y'all. Only question 2. The fact that trauma can be inherited. Root chakra is no joke. I mean, they all ain't no joke, but it's like we starting here at the root and it's already there. It's already there. It's like if Root Chakra was a song, I think it was Paint the Town Red, because that song, it's like, I'm at your neck. That's what I'm saying. I said what I said. And that's that. Question, hold on. Question 3. Now I just want to ask the questions just for the sake of asking them. We can break them down later. I think I'll do another live for that because I think that would be really interesting. But just finding them, because I've saved a couple over time and I have like a Pinterest board literally dedicated to just all the stuff that I said I would do on lives like this. So I'm excited. There's going to be so many more lives. I'm excited. But this third question though, okay, so the questions are like this much, this much. Question 3 is like this. I'm not ready. But I'm gonna read it, but I'm not ready. I'm just gonna read off these questions because these are ones you gotta sit and think about. I feel like one of these questions easily is equivalent to one therapy session. So here's number 3. Root chakra shadow work prompts. When you think about Come on, man. Come on, man. When you think about the word family, what feelings, emotions, memories, and thoughts arise, both good and bad? How might that understanding of family impact who you are today? Oh my god. Oh my goodness. That's a great question. And that's a really good question. To think how we see what family is, and considering that being one of the core things that we know, we grow up in it, is things like that. And how it can define who we are as a person and how we function. What do you think about the word family? And that's just crazy to think. I want to see this one. I want to see it. Okay. Number 4. Trust. Okay, so similar to what was said earlier with trust, do you trust yourself? Hmm. That's a good one. That's a good one too. I like that one. Let me keep that one. I want to keep that one. Do you trust yourself? Okay, so this is just a part of it. Do you trust yourself? Do you trust others? Do you trust life? Why or why not? That's a very interesting question, which isn't bad. And, of course, in your own time to just think through it and write it out. But I think these are great conversations. This is great ones to have to write down, and at least start with paper, or at least start with 5 minutes. And then if you extend it from 5 minutes to 10, 10 to 15, it definitely can grow how you see, how you could see that when it comes to trust, when you see him to trust yourself. Like, do you act on it right away, or do you second guess it and change it? I like that one. So, thinking of the chakras, trying to go back up. So, root chakra being at the bottom. The next one is sacral, solar plexus. Hold on. So it's root chakra, sacral, it's solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown. And that's 7, right? I believe I listed that one right. And the next one after that, so it would be sacral. Ooh, let me see if they have it. Yes, they do. Ooh. Yeah, we're not crossing that bridge. Yeah, starting with the root is a good one. I think that's a good one to start with. Because obviously each chakra has a different base. I'm curious to see the heart chakra, crown chakra, throat chakra, solar plexus, third eye. Hmm. Huh? No. I was just doing a live. I know this is cozy though.
Oh, you doing a live?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
man.
I'm just doing it. You're okay. You okay that I borrowed it? It's
Huh?
cause you okay that I borrowed it?
Yeah, that's why I had it down. It's
I'm
comfy.
sorry. And I sorry. I was like, let me see. Hold on. I didn't mean to. Sorry, I missed the call. I was like, I saw that for a second. I was like right in the middle, so I was
Wait,
like,
are you doing a live or
yeah. I'm just right. I'm doing journal prompts.
will you keep doing it? Never mind. I was just checking on. Make sure
I
everything's
appreciate it. No, sorry. No, I didn't mean to miss the call. That's why I was like, oh my gosh, I was writing and I saw it like in passing.
you cool. You cool. Go back to what you're
Okay. You're okay.
doing. I know I'm good.
You're fine. Ooh, okay. All right. So I know that. So sacral chakra is usually going to be one that bases a lot with its creativity, relationships, and that whole area. We're not going to touch that. We're not going to touch the sacral chakra with shadow work problems because they get pretty deep. Well, they all are deep. I think it's just the topic of which you're ready to. It's good to work your way up though, and start with the root chakra. So I'm gonna okay. Let me start over. I'll do it this way. I read you all the questions for the root chakra prompts. I will at least read one question from each of the other chakras going up because I think that's fair. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So for the sacral chakra shadow work prompts, there's 4 on here. And ooh. Um wow. Okay, so here's one of them from the sacral chakra. Reflect on any personal habits that make you feel guilty. Why do they stir this emotion within you? Personal habits that make you feel guilty. And it's crazy because it's like it's not even far fetched. You can have habits that you do and still feel guilty about them and still do them. Oh my goodness. I enjoy like shadow work is so cool. Like I haven't done it in so long, but I love that the questions really do bring to light the shadow. A lot of the things that you don't really think about and or you can naturally or subconsciously suppress and not even realize. Whoa. Okay, so sacral. So that was one as promised. That was one of the sacral chakras. This one, now we're going up one more, is the solar plexus. So, wow. Off of yellow because I like one, I like the color. Two, it also brings like brightness. It helps with a lot of various things when it comes to like just me personally with joy and getting a lot of things done with just growing and just improving every single day. But ooh, I see these questions. The very first one with this is what makes you feel ashamed of yourself and why, which is wow. It's very straightforward, but that's how shadow work questions work. So that one is that's a really interesting one because depending on where it's stemming from and where or how you may feel that way, if you do, kudos to you if you don't. Um, it's very tricky. Oh, wow. That one is okay. So I'm breaking my rule already. I want to there's a beauty in this question that I really like, and it basically says this: if you have a gentle personality, what scares you about anger? If you have a rough personality, what scares you about softening up and letting go? Um, I can definitely say I'm more on the gentler side of things, but I never thought of anger in a way of something to be scared of. So that's why it's really interesting where it comes like the root of that is basing out of fear, you know. I've always been someone when it comes to anger, I don't necessarily want it to be a controller where it's like I'm responsible for my emotions. I want to be very thorough and thoughtful when it comes to delivering something. And the last thing I want to do is give my power to something that allows me to act unruly. Thus, that's where I kind of think of anger in that way. However, you know, I try to be very mindful of the difference between anger and rage, which are two different things. Um, so I mean, I don't know. I really like that question, but I never have thought about anger being something to be scared of. It was not something I feared, but more or less just something I never wanted to control me. And then just from seeing on the other side of someone that was with a hardened shell, who has a rough personality, what scares you about softening up or letting go? I could see where fear could be with that, where it's like being taken advantage of, or, um, it's just things like that, like that hardened shell and just not letting anybody in. But at the same time, nothing goes out either. So that's a very interesting question. Oh, these questions are something else. I'm reading another one from the solar plexus because this one is pretty good. Imagine holding a ball of fire in your hand. If you could set something or someone on fire without fear of consequence, who or what would it be and why? That's a question that is very concerning because you basically said that you have this amazing source of energy, which is fire, very strong, something you don't play with, thus the saying, don't play with fire. And you're saying to set fire to something or someone without any fear of consequence. So you're saying that basically you could do this and no one would know, no one would bat an eyelash. My gosh. That's a very powerful thing. And with great power comes great responsibility. Probably heard that many times. I wow. Even when it comes to the sense of responsibility, I wouldn't think of doing that. I wouldn't set fire. I wouldn't think about doing that. I wouldn't. I wouldn't think about doing that. Wow. Could you imagine that? To have the power to do something like that? I don't know. I feel like after a while it would just be a conscious thing. It just wouldn't be something that would sit right. Wow. That's a really interesting question, too. Shadow work is so fun. It's very perplexing. I really like it. I just like how it makes you question. I don't know. I I've always wanted to get better at self-reflecting and journaling. I've been journaling for about 16 years, but in the same way, it's not really like I wouldn't say it hasn't been effective because it's worked wonders for me. Um, However, it's allowed me to be very self-aware, but it's been off and on throughout these various 16 years because it wasn't every single day. I tried to do that at the beginning of the year and I broke off in April. And I've been kind of trying to get my way back into a consistent pattern with that. However, there are a lot of benefits when it comes to journaling, and especially when you have these type of prompts that kind of provoke you to think in areas that you're probably not thinking as often. So that one is a very thought-provoking question because even without the fear of consequence, would you take that? Because is there, I don't know, for me personally, everything is everything. As above is so below with for every action there's equal and opposite reaction, right? I couldn't reason in my mind to do something like that and not think that a consequence was to come with it. Because even if it says without fear of a consequence, who's to say that a consequence is still not to come? You're just not afraid of it. You know, I think that that's a very slippery slope. Because if you had the assumption or if you had the thought that you would be able to do something like that without a fear of consequence, I think that's where the the trickiest of things can come about. I don't know, because I wouldn't be able to, I couldn't live with myself if I thought knew if that's something I would do, even if there was no consequence. Like that wouldn't I couldn't do that. And the last one, try not to think about that too long, but it's a really good question. These are really good questions. Question 4: in your most dark moments, what makes you feel empty and unworthy? Hmm. Feeling empty is a very interesting feeling. And anyone who's ever been there, has ever felt that, it's it's kind of scary, if I'm being really honest, because it's like when you feel empty, it's like you almost can invite anything in. Feeling empty in that way, and empty and unworthy, and why it says empty and unworthy, it's like when you feel worthy, it's the opposite. You feel full, you feel secure in yourself. So when there's this void, there's so many things that could come in, like insecurity things like that. That can cause dark moments to become just dark seasons, dark, it's like it's a drifting thing. And if, oh my gosh, if there's anything I knew, there's this one book. It's on YouTube actually, and it's free. It's an amazing audiobook, and it's called Outwitting the Devil. And I can't remember who's the author right now, but if you look it up, it's on YouTube and it's free. The way it is explained and how it is portrayed is so compelling because it's set up in the interview fashion as if you're sitting, like how you see those like CBS, NBC interviews where they're sitting chair to chair. And how you hear it, it's like they're interviewing the devil. And basically, you're like, so why is this person or someone who feels empty or unworthy? And it's drifting. That's what it is. Drifting. And that's why I said drifting is scary, because when you get to points, uh-oh, I was like, hold on a second. I'm basically gonna finish it up on this. I'm gonna make sure I get through the rest of the chakras. So I'm gonna wrap it up on this last point I had. Drifting is okay for a short time. But after a certain point, it becomes habitual. And a little bit after it becomes habitual, it becomes a point where it is locked in. You have to be very careful about that so that you don't fall into this trap and you're in a sunken place. And it is so interesting. I might even just do a thing to talk about that book alone, but I just put that out there for you because it is such an interesting book, and it makes you think about a lot of the things about what you want to do in life, how do you feel about where you are, who you are, all of that. It is so cool. So yeah, I was like, my charge is at 20% and going. So I was like, let me wrap this up. Yes, I see the heart chakra ones. I'm so excited. I love the heart chakra. I'm all about the heart. I'm all about the heart. Woo. Okay, you ready for the questions of this one? Heart chakra shadow work prompts. Deep down, first one. Deep down, do you feel worthy of true love? Why or why not? Really great question. I automatically know. I'm like, deep down, do you feel worthy of love? Yes. Absolutely. Because I'm most certainly worthy of it. Giving out, not saying giving out love has anything to do with it, but to just be sure of myself, to love myself, and be able to present love to myself every single day, I am certainly worthy of having something like that matches. I'm just gonna say that as a short answer, very very short answer, just something like this, because that could be so much longer than it really has to be right now. Number two, what were you taught about giving and receiving love as a child? Mm. I'm very thankful for my childhood, whereas like I was taught about giving and receiving love as a child, where it was it was very pure in intention, very pure of heart. So I'm very thankful that I learned that, you know, the love you give, it can be healing in various factors, in various ways. So I'm very glad that I was taught that as a kid, and also receiving that, you know, it's something that you're worthy of. You don't have to feel like, something is too much or anything like that. I was raised to know, love is patient, love is kind. Um, the well known Bible verse where it's not angry or easily provoked, it's in the little things that you do and how you can express or receive love. And I love that because it is beautiful, it's simple, it's not complicated. Even though situations can be complex, the act of love is still simple because it's persistent, you know? And I think that's what's really beautiful about love itself. Um, what qualities? Okay, I'm gonna go to the next question. These are really great questions, and I don't want my phone to die in the middle of asking them, so I'm trying to like get through this because we're still at the heart chakra, and we still got like four other ones to go. And I'm just gonna do like one for each. I'm gonna try to. What quality within you do you have the most trouble accepting? Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna have to think about that one. But yeah, I like that one. What quality within you do you have the most trouble accepting? Who are we to say that we know all of the qualities that we have? Because I really don't think I know all of mine. So I like that question. That's a good one. Um, In relationships with others, what is your biggest flaw? That's a really good one. What is your biggest flaw? It's like one that screams out to me is like stubborn. Sometimes I'm very stubborn, but I don't know. Not necessarily like, I guess in like a right wrong type of thing where it's like I'm stubborn that it's like I'm always right. But sometimes it could even just be like stubborn in the way that I won't give up on something. It's like, you know, sometimes I can be that way. But I don't know. That certainly is an interesting one. Ooh, let me see. Where's the next one? Come on, show up. Is that it? No, I'm too high. Hold on. What's the next one? It's throat. Throat. I'm sorry. Hold on. Found it. Okay. I had to think about what the next chakra was. The first one, throat chakra. What is the biggest lie you've ever told? Um, um, I have to think on that one because I don't think there's no one I would think is like big. It's not like a, I don't know. Because being an only child, I feel like I was always big on like once I understood the power of lying and the power of keeping truth away from those that you love and how powerful and how hurtful that could be. I became very mindful of how I operated when it came to being honest and deciding if I was going to tell a white lie or if I was just going to be honest and be the truth and just bear whatever was to come because of it. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to think on that one. If you were to write in the voice of your inner critic right now, what would it say to you? I like to think that my inner voice sounds like the critic from Ratatouille. I don't know why. I just thought that, but I feel like that's what my inner critic sounds like. Number 3, notice how the following statement makes you feel. I deserve to speak up and be listened to. How do these words sit with you? I like that there's certain questions like that that can even just, they can provoke you or they can bring like an answer out of you that you didn't know that you had or you listened to as a child. Well, throat chakra, this makes sense when it comes to being heard, feeling seen in that way. This makes sense. And last one, what is your biggest criticism of other people? How might this criticism apply to you as well? There's that mirroring theory where it's like a lot of the critiques and things you have of certain people can be the exact same thing that lies within you that you haven't even noticed yet. Ooh, I like that. That's a good one. Throat chakra, third eye. Yes. Yes, third eye is next. You didn't see me process that. Ooh. The first one. And that's just so I make sure like my phone doesn't die. I'm gonna do third eye and then make sure we get to crown because I know the crown ones are gonna be pretty good too. They've all been absolutely amazing. Third eye says, when was the last time you realized you were deluded or believed something false? What was the experience like for you? That's a. Oh, I'll be wrapping up soon.
Well, you go back. Just
Okay.
don't fall asleep now.
I will not. Good night.
Good night.
Love you.
Love you too.
Um. Um. What might you be in denial about right now? Ooh, I like that one too. That's a good one. Ooh. In what ways do you mistrust your intuition? It's a good one. There's another good one, but I was like, I'll come back to that one. I'll save these. I think I'm gonna save these for sure for later. But we got to crown chakra. We got to the top. Here we are. We're at the top now. Shadow work prompts. In what areas of your life do you struggle to think for yourself? Ooh. Ooh. Excuse me. I'm gonna read these because these are really good. What kind of spiritual abuse, if any, did you experience growing up? And how was that impacted? How has that impacted, excuse me, the way you perceive yourself, others, and life? Oh my God. Whoa. 3. What part of your current belief system are you having a hard time believing or trusting? How might this be beneficial and or harmful to you? Ooh, that takes some work. That's one you really got to break down. But this is crown chakra, so you know it's already there. We're at that point. We're at the pinnacle. How might you be spiritually bypassing your everyday human problems? Oh God. Your everyday human problems. I don't know. I don't know about you, but that question humbled me. That one humbled me. Like, you can have issues. You have everyday human issues. You can have spiritual issues. Whew, that's heavy. I mean, that's just going on various levels. Obviously, there's levels to this, but I just want to find one example of that. Spiritually bypassing one everyday human problem and what that looks like, and like how to like address it. How would you change it? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Do you guys like this? I'll probably one day I would have it where it's like I'm gonna have my journal here. I'll have probably like a little screen there for it. I'm working on that. And I would actually work on certain ones depending on the topic that we decide to talk about. But starting with the chakras is a really good one. Like, even if we picked a chakra and we did like a chakra a week, that would actually be really cool. That actually would really be cool. Because, whoa, these questions are wild. Oh man, because even starting at the base, at the root, like that one sticks with me. Like these two, no, all of them. I'm not even gonna lie. All of them stick with me. They all stick with me. I'll read them one more time for root chakra, and I'm gonna finish it there. How do you unintentionally allow others to invade your personal boundaries? That's 1. 2, what traumas do you inherit? What traumas have you inherited from your ancestors? That's 2. 3, when you think about the word family, what feelings, emotions, memories, and thoughts arise, both good and bad? And how might that understanding of family impact who you are today? What? And lastly, do you trust yourself? Do you trust others? Do you trust life? Why or why not? I am really thrilled and excited. You know what? I'm gonna go back to sacral because I'm not gonna lie, I did it dirty. I just skipped over it because I think I feel like I jarred myself because I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm gonna read these. So the 4 for these for sacral was, what is your relationship like with your sexuality? That's a really great one that allows you to kind of deeply check in with yourself. Number 2,
Number 2, reflect on any personal habits that make you feel guilty. Why do they stir this emotion within you? Which I remember reading that one. Number 3, notice how the feeling statement, start over. Notice how the following statement makes you feel. I deserve pleasure in my life. How do these words sit with you? And I really like questions like that where they ask you, how does it sit with you? Because I think you really have to look at these questions and you just have to sit for a minute. It's not an immediate, like, it's not like a pop quiz where it's like you ask this question, like, how does this sit with you? And you're just like, just right away. This is when you have to sit with and see and listen long enough to see where that answer is going to arise and where it's going to come from. And lastly, do you veer towards, hold on a second, wait, hedonism or hold on, sis, wait a minute, sorry, it's late at night and I'm struggling with big words. Ascenti, Google, please help me, please. Help me, please. 1 second. I'm gonna get this word. I'm gonna get it. It's A. I'm gonna have them pronounce both of them. ASCN. That's that word. Okay, hold on. We're gonna get it. Please say it.
Asceticism.
Asceticism. Oh. Okay, please define. Hold on a second. And then I'm glad I'm just gonna look this up really quick. Hold on. Asceticism, severe self-discipline and avoidance of all forms of indulgence, typically for religious reasons. Ooh. Hedonism? Am I saying that correctly? Let me see. Pronounce hedonism? Because I'm really particular about that. I want to make sure I tried my best. I tried my darndest to try to say a word right. But let me see. Hedonism. Oh, I was off by a little bit. What's it? Hedonism. So let me look for the definition for hedonism. What is that? The pursuit of pleasure, sensual self-indulgence. Philosophy, the ethical theory that pleasure in the sense of satisfaction, oh my gosh, of desires is the highest good and proper aim of human life. So say it again. Hedonism is the pursuit of pleasure, while asceticism is the form of discipline. Ooh, that's a question to really unpack. I just had to unpack the words. Goodness, do you veer towards? Ooh, okay. Now it clicks in. I finally understand the question. Wow. Do you veer towards a journey of like a pursuit to pleasure, or are you more of a strict discipline? Do you discipline yourself strictly? Why, and what scares you about the opposite quality? I guess when it comes even to the reasoning of that is like, is there a fear of the opposite quality? Or what if it was just like that was the only thing you knew, so you stuck with it? That's interesting too. Oh, that's a good question. Hedonism and asceticism. Well, I learned 2 words today. if there was anything, I certainly learned 2 words today. But these are really great questions and great prompts. I would stay on longer, but I think my camera's gonna die. So I don't want it to die. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Definitely let me know in the comments when it comes to certain like prompts what topics you guys would want to do, because I don't mind writing. I actually thoroughly enjoy writing with you guys. Thank you. I think it's a really cool thing because these questions really came with it, you know? Like this was intense. Very intense. But they're definitely questions and conversations to be had that we should have with ourselves. We are worthy to have these conversations to definitely understand ourselves because we are with ourselves for the longest time. Right. Right. Oh my gosh. I always love spending time with you guys. Oh, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really appreciate you guys. But yeah. We got some cool work to do. I'm excited about the rest of this year because I definitely want to do more lives. Like, not all my lives are going to be this heavy. I promise you. Not all my lives are going to be like this because there's going to be plenty of lives where I'm just going to be doing silly stuff and I'm just going to like set up somewhere and I'm just going to be like in a silly mood because that's just me. But I also like this because it's just like any opportunity to improve and to also ask these type of questions because that's where my curiosity just goes crazy because it's fun, but it's also very rewarding when you take the time to really understand these things. So thank you guys so much for hanging around with me. I really appreciate you guys chilling out and being here for the ride. I really hope to hear from you guys when it comes to more things that you guys want to see me do lives with. And I will talk to you guys very soon. Get some rest. Take care of yourselves. Don't be hedonistic or asceticistic. So, have a good night. I love you guys. Night. Bye bye.